Once again, welcome back again after having discussed issues related to teams and team building, importance of teams in our day-to-day life, and even at the working place. The most significant topic that we need to discuss again is about leadership. Before I take up the new topic, leadership, if you have any questions about our earlier discussion, you can pose the questions right now, or otherwise you can reserve your questions and we can discuss at the end. I will give you 5 to 10 minutes after my lecture. Either of this approach is okay. You can
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
start
Okay,
asking
sir.
questions now or at the end.
No, sir. We'll ask at the end.
That would be better. Now, you have seen that leadership is everywhere, and teachers invariably have to lead in different capacities. It goes without saying, inside the classroom, teacher is the person who should act as the monitor, the controller, the regulator, motivator, and the role model for everybody. His job is not less than that of a leader at all. He is a leader. Teachers are undesignated leaders of not only classes, even the society looks at them as leaders. I made a mention that the quality of the teachers influences the quality of the community. Teachers are considered as the most prominent entities of the society. For all social evils, the first person to get a blame is the teacher. If somebody commits a mistake, if the same person commits something good, people will not take that much of botheration. When somebody commits a mistake, the first question people ask is, who taught you all this? Anybody who teaches is a teacher. And teachers always regarded very high. That in the Indian culture, the biggest planet, Jupiter, is named after the teachers, to imply that teachers are so prominent, so important in the society. Our job, along with leading, is also concerned with making the future leaders, making the responsible citizens is also concerned with preparing the good type of leaders. Leadership is something like the power or the engine that pulls everything. Even in a society, leaders can be seen in different roles. Political leaders, spiritual leaders, academic leaders, scientific and knowledge leaders are everywhere, and all of them will influence the acts and the reactions of the future generations. Let us make an attempt to understand, as teachers, how can we discharge this particular function effectively to give justice to our teaching job at a given point of time. Every moment is a testing time for teachers, because teachers are not afforded to make any mistakes. There is a popular saying, why teachers are not allowed to make mistakes? There is a popular saying, if a doctor commits a mistake, that mistake will be buried. If a doctor commits a mistake, at the most what happens? Patient will die and it will be buried. If a lawyer commits a mistake, that mistake will be hanged. At the most, the client may lose the case and he may be punished. Maximum punishment is just sentence. If a teacher commits a mistake, what happens? If a teacher commits a mistake, that will spread and it will spoil generations. That's the reason teachers cannot afford to make mistakes of any type, society expects them with utmost admiration to be the role models for everybody. Therefore, let us have a look at it, and let me pose you a question before I start my lecture. Do you see yourself as a leader? Have you been serving in a leadership capacity? Do you think so? If so, in what ways? I will give you 1 or 2 minutes for you to interact, for 1 or 2 of you to speak on this question, so that the session will become a little more interactive. Any reactions for this question? Whether the question is visible?
Yes, sir. Visible.
If any of you can speak on that, yes, I am a leader. Okay. Otherwise, I'll take it as it is. Just make this question yourself. Do I deserve to be called a leader? At what times my leadership capacity has been demonstrated? Why should I consider that as a leadership task? I am of the opinion every teacher is a leader, because both the society and the students looks at the teachers as their role model. Even the most loving role model for you may be somebody who taught you, not necessarily at the highest level of your education, even at the nursery school level. You remember, you imitate, you take them as the role model at times whenever it is needed. Therefore, every teacher plays the role of a leader in the society. Along with that, he has to discharge his duties as an employee of a university, college, or a government. What is this leadership is all about? I'm the one who believes that leadership is the engine, leadership is the force or the power that activates everything in the world, but it can be seen in different forms. The role of a leader is to take people on journeys where they have not been before. When I say journey, life is a journey. Not to think of an academic tour or something like that. Life is a journey. On the journey of life, one who takes you to the destinations which you had not been eager to can be taken as a leader. Teachers take the people from the journey of literacy, knowledge. Teachers are the source of inspiration for many people to act and react. Who are these leaders? Leaders are those who hate and instinctively challenge status quo. Normally, leaders are those who don't accept the status quo all the time. Leaders are those who look for change, who initiate change, who become the change. Anybody who bring changes in the society, changes in the community, changes in the system can be considered as a leader. You can think yourself as a leader or not based on a couple of questions. You are a leader if you feel you can do things better. And how to do them better, without offending those in authority. There is a difference between authority and leadership. Authority comes out of designation. Authority comes out of designation. But leadership is an attitude. Leadership is a personality character. It's a trait. Whereas authority comes out of a designation, a position. You are a leader if you are capable of doing something even without the power, without offending people at power, and able to do things better than others. If you feel like that, you are a leader. You are a leader if you are comfortable being challenged. When somebody challenges you, if you accept the challenge, you are comfortable at that challenge. When I say challenge, it also includes criticism. Leaders are those who accept the challenges and the criticisms comfortably. You are a leader if you are comfortable being under authority. Authority means there is no power. Without the power also you are capable of doing something. People in power sometimes may not be able to do that. It is the people with personal capacity, personal ability who could do something which the power cannot do. Therefore, if you think you are comfortable without authority also, without position also, I don't think always leaders are in politics. Leaders are everywhere. Leaders are in sports, religious, domain and academics, research, everywhere there are leaders. And leaders are those who could do something without power also. You are a leader if you are comfortable with crediting other people for things you helped them to achieve. For things you helped them to achieve. Normally, leaders are those who celebrate the victory of others. If you are celebrating your own victory, you are not great. Yes, you celebrate the victory of others. All teachers in that score, are the leaders. Because when our students achieve something, we feel as if it is our own achievement. But by looking at our students' success, we feel this is my success. If you ask the student, what is the secret of your success? Srinivas is visible now. if you ask anybody, what is the secret of your success? Many a time, students say, hard work, God's grace, parents' blessing, something like that. And at the end only they will say, my teachers. But in reality, it is the teachers who feel proud of their students' achievement. Teachers always consider the success of their students as their success. Therefore, a leader is one who celebrates the victory of others. Therefore, if you have all these qualities, you can consider yourself as a leader. I have an academic definition to offer. At the first instance, what is leadership? It's a process of influencing people and providing an environment for them to achieve team or organizational goals. Leadership is a process. Leadership is a spirit. Leadership is a power of influencing people. I have already defined what is influencing. Influencing is an act of making a positive impact on somebody. Along with that positive impact, a leader is one who provides an environment, who creates an ambience for others to achieve. Leader never thinks achievement of his own. He always creates an ambience where others can achieve by setting goals. He sets the goals. He provides for the facilities. He encourages the people and make people to achieve through that. Further, you can say leadership is the catalyst. What is the catalyst? Catalyst means the change agent. Catalyst is the one who brings change and transforms potential into reality. Leaders are those who are capable of transforming the potential into reality. That's the reason I said the quality of a community, quality of a nation depends on the quality of the teachers. A country may be having an excellent potential. That potential must be converted into reality. You can recall a great teacher like Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Abdul Kalam always used to say that by 2020, India will become the superpower. For him to say that by 2020, India will become the superpower, the only hope was youth of India. Along with that, he used to say, by 2020, India will become young. People laughed at him. How can a thousands years old country will become young? India will become young by 2020 because by that time, world's greatest percentage of youngsters are going to be in India. Today, world's 40% of the youth and 60% of the total population of the country happens to be the youngsters in the age of 18 to 35. That is the power for a country. By looking at this, Abdul Kalam said, we must take the demographic dividend of the country, demographic dividend. A greatest percentage of the population are youngsters in our country. This youth must be properly directed. This youth must be properly advised and must be bring on the right path. Then only the country will become superpower. Abdul Kalam said by 2020 we will achieve that. At least now we can hope till 2030. If we don't catch the youngsters young and make them to be on the track by 2030, after another 10 years, by 2040, what happens? By 2040, India is going to have the largest number of aged people in the world. Therefore, it is the responsibility of the teachers to play the role of a leader by converting the potential. Potential is there with our youngsters, but they don't know their capacity. It is the leader's job to advise them, suggest them, identify their potential, help them to know what they have internally. Therefore, what is leadership? Leadership is the catalyst that transforms potential into reality. Great achievers are the inventions of good teachers. If you are able to identify the spirit in the sparkling eyes of your young teachers, young students, they may become the asset for the country. Incidentally, what happens? Most of the colleges we are seeing students who may not be able to express their hidden talent, hidden capacity because of obvious reasons. The more prominent problem that most of our present day students facing across the country is a gap between students from literate and illiterate families, urban and rural families, rich and poor families, families of haves and have-nots. But believe me, knowledge is nobody's property. Knowledge is nobody's property. But incidentally, but unfortunately, then, in the classrooms, everybody may not get the proper attention for obvious reasons. But a leader is one who takes the risk of identifying the potential, who takes the risk of recognizing the hidden talent and encourage that. That will support the country in achieving greater heights. Therefore, all teachers are the leaders. They have the responsibility of converting the potential. We have the potential. Potential may not be explicit. Given an opportunity, people could do great things. For that purpose, leadership is the most essential thing, and we need leaders everywhere. There is a popular saying in management, there are no underdeveloped countries in the world, but there are undermanaged countries. The problems of the underdeveloped countries cannot be solved by any ideology, any ism, any political theory, or any big politician, but it can be solved by great leaders. What we need is the leadership. Leaders are those who work with a concern, with a commitment, with a dedication towards the development of others. Leaders always think of others' welfare and not the selfish ends. Further, what it is? It is a collective network, virtual force with powers flowing from a jointly created and shared vision. Leadership must flow from a jointly created, shared vision, accepted by everybody. It's a virtual force, it is not visible. Where is leadership? Leadership is not in your color, in your height, in your gender. Leadership is an hidden character. That character makes people to dedicate, devote their resources to achieve something for which the organization, the institution, or the country is working for. Let us search for a couple of descriptions for leadership. Who are these leaders? There is a general tendency to believe that leaders are those who are powerful and influential. Leaders are those who are intelligent. Leaders are those who mobilize and resources to work towards the common goals. Leaders are those who effectuate positive change, effectuating positive change. I told you in the beginning, leaders are those who hate change, who hate status quo, who always prefer change. They are the catalyst, change agents. But the change that they are bringing must be positive one. What is positive and negative depends on how it affects the majority. Leaders are the people with the high values, standards, ethics, and they act as the role models for others. Leaders always provide a role model for others. General belief is that they are the famous and well-known people who operate with a mixture of formal and informal authority. Leaders work with informal authority. Formal authority may be little. Say, for instance, in many institutions and colleges, it may not be the people in the power. Somebody with the leadership quality becomes popular. Sometimes principal says, I am the principal, but someone else is popular. How come it is? Everybody listens to the other person's voice. Everybody revolves around that other person. Why not me? I am the boss. I am the senior. It is not the bossism. There is a difference between boss and the leaders. Boss is also once again because of designation, because of the position that he holds. Whereas a leader is one who enjoys that because of his charisma, his personality, his attitude, and his concern for people. Further, what are the functions of leadership? What are the functions of leaders? Indirectly, what leaders are expected to do. That's what I'm trying to say. Leadership is a wider topic that can be deliberated in different dimensions, keeping in mind the multi-dimensional audience from different faculty. I'm making it very simple. What do you expect from a leader? At the first instance, a leader must act as an inspiration to group members. Leader must act as an inspiration to group members. Think teachers as leaders. You should accept the role of leadership inside the class, and in the classroom, you must be the spark for all the light inside. And you should act as an inspiration to the members over there. They are nothing but our students. Let it be the students, colleagues, family, or whatever you are. The moment you accept the status or the feeling of leadership, you are supposed to be an inspiration to the group members. You will be knowing it will not come by designation. There is a saying, only good teachers can inspire. Average teachers teach and poor teacher dictates and criticize others. To be an inspiration for others, you need to love, you need to like whatever you are doing. Second thing, the function of leadership is to secure cooperation. It is an art. Art of securing cooperation is essential because in a group where there used to be people from different walks of life, different expectations and abilities. Every one of them may be having their own justifications for everything that they do. But when you have taken a task, first you must be able to get the cooperation of everybody. Cooperation of everybody. If you get the cooperation of everybody, let it be your audience. The first thing the speaker must do is to get the cooperation of the audience. Make an acknowledgement. Make the people to acknowledge him as the speaker. Willingness to listen. Likewise, a leader must get the acceptance of his leadership by others. That is the first thing of getting cooperation. How do you get that cooperation? Again, I am telling, it is by winning heart. It is by convincing, by coercion, by threatening, by force. If you do so, it will not last longer. It will not last longer. People will wait for an opportunity to revolt. Then you may not be able to control that. Therefore, a leader, good leader is one who has to secure the cooperation of others. Another important function of a leader is creation of confidence. Whether it is in sports or in a war, battle or business, success depends on the type of leadership that we get. A confident leader can only spread confidence among others. If the leader himself is gullible, incompetent, he will make others also the same. Therefore, at times of crisis, at times of problems, when people are not assured of the results, it is the leader who should make them to be bold and confident. Today, you may be knowing most of our youngsters are not clear and confident about their future. They are not certain of what's going to happen after education. Many students will ask a question, are we assured of a job? What is the use of this degree? You may be knowing both the parents and the students will come and ask a question, is there scope for your course? What does it mean, scope means? Indirectly they are asking, will it give me the bread and butter? Will there be a future for me? What would be the fate of me after completing this course? For both the students and even followers in other fields, it is the leader's job to give them confidence. I don't expect leaders to tell lie in order to give confidence. He must be logical, he must be practical, realistic, at least nearer to truth. If you simply give confidence by false promises, people will call you a politician. There is a definition for political leadership, you know. They are the ones who promise to build a reservoir where there is no river. Even if there is no river, they will say, we will make arrangement, don't worry. Youngsters are fed up with that. Today's youngsters want practical, realistic solutions. They are very intelligent. They are technically strong when compared to their teachers. They are critical of the situations. Youth are very clear as to what is to be done, what should not be done. Therefore, for the youngsters, both inside the college and in the society, what is required is a leadership that builds confidence. So that wherever you are, whatever type of leader you are, one of the most prominent functions is to give confidence, creation of confidence. Confidence is something that you can spread if it is with you. If you are not confident, you cannot do that. Further, providing conducive environment by setting goals. It is the leader's job to create an environment where everybody can achieve. Create an environment where everybody feels free, comfortable, to think independently, to work independently. It is the job of the leader. Organizing and coordinating. facilitating to do the job, to discharge the duties, to achieve something. Leaders need to organize and coordinate. Coordinate means balance between the important variables. Coordination is something that can be seen in its objects. There must be coordination between the speaker and the audience. There must be coordination between the boss and the subordinates. There must be coordination between the student and the teacher. Why all this? There must be coordination between the eyes and the ears, between the two eyes on our face. Otherwise, it becomes visible, evident through the negative picture that it creates. Further, most important function of a leader is to motivate. Needless to elaborate, motivation is an act of putting people into action by inspiring them, by urging them, by driving them towards the goals. What is motivation? Motivation is the fire inside. It is the fire inside. That fire may not be known to many people. That fire can be used as a light. To convert that fire into a light, we need a leader in the form of a teacher. That teacher can ignite the fire inside and make it to put the person into action. Motivating is an act of inspiring, educating, guiding, supporting. The leader's job, particularly that the teacher has to discharge, is concerned with motivating. You may be knowing many people will come to you with their own personal problems to continue their education. You need to understand the present day situation of the students. In a classroom of today, we have students of different socio-economic strata. Some of them are blessed with good things, some of them are not. There are, as I already mentioned, there are slow learners, fast learners, no learners. And at the same time, there are people who struggle hard to adjust to the college or the university environment for obvious reasons. Some of them may be facing the problem of fluency in a language. I don't know whether you agree or not. One of the biggest problems today in many universities and colleges that the students are facing is about the language. Hitherto, we are made to believe that fluency of a language means, particularly in the colleges and the universities, it is English. All the students are not blessed to have primary education in an English convent, in an English school. About 60% of our students are from rural background. These students will find something like a threat for their education when they encounter a situation where they cannot follow the lectures. It is the job of the teacher to motivate them, to attend the classes, to learn the language. If you don't do that, either they discontinue, drop out from the course, or somehow they hide themselves and they don't do anything constructive other than somehow passing the examination. Therefore, we need to identify people with such problems and encourage them to get out of that inferior thinking, help them to come out with some solution for the problem that they are facing. That can happen only when there is somebody to appreciate them, somebody to encourage them, because knowledge and language not necessarily interconnected. An intelligent, a knowledgeable person can be in any language. No language is great on its own. A language will become great when great people speaks it, when great people writes about it. There may be a student who is very intelligent in his vernacular, but may not be able to express it. If we create an inferior feeling in his mind, he may become a burden or he may become a rebel. Believe me, I'm using the word rebel to the system. Therefore, motivating is another important responsibility that the teachers have to do. Self-motivation is the best motivation, no doubt. But when people are not self-motivated, we need somebody to push or pull. Pushing or pulling towards an achievement is motivation. If all this does not work, the last thing that a leader has to do is controlling. Controlling sounds negative. Nobody likes to be controlled by anybody because everybody wants freedom. But when freedom given to people is not used properly, when the channel that we have used is not working properly, we have to resort to the last thing, that is controlling. Controlling is an act of setting standards, fixing norms, and making people to follow it. And those who fail to do so must be penalized, must be punished. And the punishment must be corrective punishment. Corrective punishment. The punishment that the teachers or the leaders give must be with a good intention of bringing them back on the track and helping others to take them as an example to do good things. Therefore, functions of leadership includes these activities that encourages people to do something or the other. A role of a teacher as leader inside the class. I've just taken this to present it before the teacher. I don't know how you like it. It is the teacher's thinking, teacher's feeling that has been listed by Kane Genot in his book somewhere in 1976. He had written, I have come to a frightening conclusion. I have come to the frightening conclusion that I am the decisive element in the classroom. I am the decisive element in the classroom. It is my personal approach that creates the climate in the class. I think I'm reaching you. Am I reaching? Say yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. It is my personal approach that creates the climate in the class. It is my daily mood that makes the weather. Just imagine how important your mind is. It is my daily mood that makes the weather. As a teacher, I possess tremendous power to make a student's life miserable or joyous. Are we not leaders in this context? I can be a tool of torture or an instrument of inspiration. I can be a tool of torture or an instrument of inspiration. I can humiliate, humor, hurt, or heal. In all situations, it is my response that decides whether a crisis will be escalated or de-escalated, and the child humanized or dehumanized. Making the child humanized or dehumanized is in the hands of the teachers. Don't say it is not my responsibility. It is the teachers in the nursery schools, it is the teachers in the high school, college, something like that. Whoever has accepted the role of a teacher must think like this. Then only he will become part of leader in his job. Leadership and teachership goes hand in hand. As leaders, we need to manage, we need to lead inside the classroom. What is the role of a teacher as leader inside the classroom? At the first instance, you have to develop a caring, supportive relationship with and among the students. This is the leadership job. What leadership job you are doing? Don't think my job is over only by expertising in my subject. I'm excellent in my subject. I will deliver lecture on my subject and go. No. A teacher is not just a delivery boy of content. Today, Not many gadgets are there to take care of that. There are recorded videos, there are audios, videos, and animation. Even believe me, robots have become teachers these days, robotic teachers. Given the situation, if we don't make our role most important by playing these characters, we are going to be replaced by machines. It should not allow that to happen, because teachers are not just delivery machines of lectures. Teachers must set an example as a role model for others to emulate. Therefore, what is the job of a teacher inside the class is to develop a caring, supportive relationship with and among students. Organize and implement instructions in ways that optimizes students' access to learning. Optimizing learning. All types of students are there. Sometimes what happens when I go for explaining the basics, people who are very intelligent may think I am boring. Keeping them in mind, if I go to advance only, those who don't know the basics will be missing the train. It is my job to equalize, optimize. That is the role of a leader. We must balance, strike a balance between the most intelligent and the average. I think I'm reaching. Based on this, use group management methods that encourage students' engagement with academics. Group management, teams we were discussing. A good team is one made up of people with psychological understanding and agreement. All types of people must be there. People with a diverse background, diverse experience. If all of them are made to work in a team, they will share their thoughts, and that will become a learning process for them. An intelligent student must be given an opportunity to interact with an average student. Otherwise, what happens? As a norm, only intelligent people will become friends. All failed candidates will become friends. It is the job of the leader, when you give a group assignment, try to see that all sorts of people are there in a group. One with fluency and one with average fluency, one who cannot understand, made them to be together for some time. They will learn, create an ambience for learning. Followed by that, promote the development of students' social skill and self-regulation. As a leader, our job is not only to prepare them for the examinations, it is to make them responsible citizens of the country, responsible members of the society. Social skills. Social skills are concerned with understanding the importance of fellow colleagues and fellow people around us, respecting the views of others. This is what missing today. We are intolerant to others. What is missing is socializing skill. Make the people to get adjusted, get accommodated in the company of all sorts of people. This world belongs to everybody. Therefore, promote the development of social skills. Social skills includes accepting, learning, practicing whatever is good for the society. Let it be traditions, customs, fashion, technology, language, accents. These are all social skills. Whatever is good and acceptable, good for the society, that must be taught. And more than anything, true leaders will develop leaders always. Your job is to make everybody self-regulated, self-monitored, capable of self-monitor. A leader is like a banyan tree. Just understand the significance of banyan tree. Banyan tree spreads very wide. It spreads its strength, and there is a criticism on the banyan tree that it will not allow anything to grow under that shade. under the banyan tree's shade, no plants will grow. But for your surprise, you must be knowing, recall, plants can grow on the banyan tree. If not under the shade of the tree, on the tree, there can be any plants. Leaders must always think that let people grow beyond me. If my students achieve something, if my student become a big person, that is my achievement. Teachers are always like that, and hence they are called leaders. Self-regulation means make people to be their own bosses. Make them to use freedom with wisdom. Using freedom with wisdom is what required. For that purpose, as teachers, we need to use appropriate interventions to assist students who have behavioral problems. Some students may have behavioral problems. Too shy, too arrogant, too aggressive, sober, disappointed and frustrated. These are all the behavioral problems. As a teacher, we need to understand these problems, and wherever it is needed, we must go for giving counseling, a helping hand for that type of students. Who knows, with your advice, with your suggestions, their problem may be solved. They may become a great force to help others in the community, others in the society. Therefore, behavioral problems can be noticed. There is no time for us to interact directly. Otherwise, you can think of the behavioral problems that you encounter today. Lot many problems. Some people suffer from ego. Some people suffer from inferiority. Some people are deprived of facilities. The type of students we have, all these people need to be balanced. For good, for good. Somebody thinks that with money power they can do anything. They must be made to realize that money is not everything in life. There is something beyond it. Therefore, behavioral problems of the students need to be addressed. That is one of the important jobs that teachers have to do as leaders in their capacity, as leaders. You will be knowing teachers can influence not only the students, but the society. There is a theory called social learning in psychology. Teachers can influence the people as leaders by different ways. You will be knowing under social learning theory, people use symbols as cognitive models that's how to guide their behavior. Symbols. That means here the teacher is the symbol of knowledge. Teacher is the symbol of discipline. Teacher is the symbol of behavior. What the teacher does, that will be imitated. There is a popular saying, youngsters or the students will not do what you ask them to do, but they imitate what you do. If you speak about punctuality, you need to be punctual first. Right? If you speak about honesty and integrity, you need to demonstrate it first. Therefore, symbol as cognitive model. And people use forethought to anticipate. People will use forethought means they imagine. They imagine and relate you to the situation, you to the character. If it was that teacher, if it was that leader, what he would have been done. That forecasting will mold their behavior indirectly. For everything, it is the teachers who will be taken as the role model, directly or indirectly. Believe me, teachers can influence more than the parents at an young age. And the influence of the teachers will last longer. Even in their absence, students will think twice before doing anything opposite to what they have learned from the teachers, provided that learning was so strong. Therefore, here, self-control, an act of self-control makes many people to be disciplined in life, The self-control comes out of admiration, imitation of the teachers. That is that's a part of social learning. And self-efficacy means here believing in one's own capacity to do something. There's a saying, if you criticize, comment, and develop inferior thinking in the minds of the students, they will become the same. If you encourage them by identifying their potential, everyone is blessed with one or the other thing. Everyone is blessed with one or the other thing. A teacher or a leader's job is to identify that best thing in him and advise him to dwell upon that. Advise him to develop that. Give a supportive environment for him to achieve something through that. You can ask a question, where is the time for us? Our job is to complete the syllabus. In addition to completing our academic syllabus, by our own act of setting ourselves as an example for students, we can inspire them, motivate them to do something different. If you have the mind, there is time. If you have an intention to do, there will be ways to help you. What is required is a commitment. Leaders are those who have the commitment, challenge to work at times of crisis and confusions. There will be confusions, there will be crises, there will be challenges. Only those people who accept all these things will become leaders. But I and you have been already appointed as leaders. Our designation is partly that of a leader for the entire community, for the entire society. Teachers, teachers to be as leaders need to have certain extraordinary qualities. I'm listing out these qualities. Knowledge of self, know yourself, what you are, why you are there, what is the object purpose before you to be achieved. A good teacher is one who have the knowledge of self. Somehow we have reached this position. Some of us are teachers by choice, some of us may be teachers by chance. Whether it is by chance or by chance, love your job. Know yourself that you are in a very responsible position. Your responsibility need not be in terms of managing the resources, financial or otherwise, but molding the manpower of this country. Molding the manpower, molding the future. The demographic dividend of youth can be achieved only when teachers take the responsibility of putting the youngsters on the right track. Whoever puts that, whoever do that will become the leader. That's all. Followed by that, teachers must have a vision. A vision. Vision is the forethought. Forethought. What I want to achieve with all this, I'm doing all this, finally what I want to do. Social sensitivity. There must be social sensitivity. Only that type of people will fit to be leaders. Know the society, the type of society where you are, happenings in your society. What is relevant for the society and what is your responsibility? You must have the ability to impress. The ability to impress will come out of your capacity in terms of communication, capacity in terms of behavior by setting example. And the people a good teacher needs to be intuitive. Intuitive means, intuition is said to be the sixth sense, making positive and constructive imaginations. By looking at a student, by looking at a situation, you must be able to visualize a new picture which others cannot draw. That is intuition, which is called sixth sense. A good, probably you might have noted, many achievers used to say that my teacher said that he will become something, he will do something, something like that. So that a good leader is one, or a good teacher is one who works with a high amount of intuition, and integrity is Undisputedly the most prominent thing that a teacher must possess. Again, what makes a leader? Is it the money? Is it the pedigree? Is it the belief? Is it the actions, personalities, looks, connections, work ethics, or charms? I'm not going to say any one of them. Any one of them may make at a point, but all of them are needed. To become an effective leader, all of them will play an important role. But for teachers, we are here because of our knowledge cover, because of our responsibility of the designation given to us. That we must keep it in mind, and we must rise to the occasion. See here, how the leaders are created. I have asked you a question, in what way you have worked as a leader? Apart from teaching, there could be challenging situations for you that made you to work as a leader. Guidance to others by organizing, directing, coordinating, supporting, and motivating their efforts, one can become a leader. When you guide others in their pursuit of achieving something, by organizing, directing, coordinating, supporting, helping, you can become a leader. Accordingly, there can be different type of leadership. You can call it reciprocal. By reciprocating the situation demands, for that situation, you rose. You are the first person to react. That makes you a leader. Transactional leader. A transactional leader is one, when a task or an assignment is given, who took the responsibility to complete that task. Say for instance, in your college, on the talents day and the annual day, you might have been given an assignment, you have completed that. So that transactional leaders are those who complete the assignment given to them. And at the same time, transformational leadership. Transformational leaders are those who bring a real change. When something is not comfortable, something is not good for everybody, if you want to change the situation, how do you change that? If you make up your mind, you can change. Everybody is coming late, but you want to introduce punctuality into the system. How do you make it? People are lazy. How do you activate them? People are irresponsible. How do you make them responsible? This is what transformational. The situation demands you to become a leader. Then you need to get the cooperation of others. Or the opposite of that, by adopting into the situation also, you can become a leader. People want you to be like them, then only they will respect. If you think by adopting to whatever is prevailing there, you can also become a leader. But leaders are those who make others to work, others to contribute for the achievement of the organizational or the collective group's work. What are the qualities or the characteristics that are required in a leader? Anybody to become a leader, at the first instance, there must be a personal drive. Personal drive means inside you must have an intention to lead. Otherwise, people will say, my job is to teach, I will teach and go. Why do you take all these responsibilities? Why do you want to become an NSS coordinator? Why do you want to become a cultural activities coordinator? Unless it is imposed on you, some people will not take. Unless it is imposed, people will not take. But there are people with a killing instinct inside them that makes them to volunteer to do some activities. Such people will definitely do it effectively. Therefore, there must be a personal drive for doing the leadership, and there must be a desire to lead. If you are not willing, if you are not desirous of leading, your leading will not become effective. Self-confidence. Self-confidence is the most important thing. Even to become a teacher, one must be confident, When you are addressing people, you must be confident that whatever I am telling is clear. I'm right. Unless you have that confidence, you cannot stand in front of a class. So that as a teacher, as a leader, you must be confident. Confidence will come through preparation, through experiments, right? When you have experimented, when you have prepared, when you have the stuff, and more than anything, when you are telling the truth, automatically you will be confident. Knowledge of business. Business means whatever you are doing. Business is busyness. You should have advanced knowledge of whatever you are talking, whatever you are doing. If you have taken some work, the first thing that you have to do is prepare, consult as many sources as possible. If you have the knowledge of what you are doing, you can invariably become a leader, an expert. Who is an expert? Expert is one who knows more and more of less and less. Hope you can follow me. Who is an expert? An expert is one who knows more and more of less and less. Knowing everything about everything makes you a leader. Try to be that. That is towards perfection. Leaders are those, the traits of a good leader: creativity and originality. There must be creativity and originality. What is creativity and originality? Needless to elaborate. Positive effectivity. I've already said, your work and actions must make positive impact on others. Then only you will be called a leader. Otherwise, you will become a villain. What's the difference between a hero and a villain? Both of them are active. Both of them are influential. But one affects positively, other one affects negatively. That's the reason somebody's hero may be somebody's villain and vice versa. Flexibility, Karishma. What is Karishma? There is a style called charismatic leadership. In psychology, we use the word charismatic leadership. Karishma means an individual's outlook that can inspire people, that can make people to respect them, obey them. Just by looking at an individual, you may feel like respecting, you may feel like caring for them. That outlook of the individual, that personality of the individual is called charisma. As a teacher, we need to develop that charisma, that character, that outlook to impress on people. And more than anything, flexibility and adaptiveness is the most sought after thing. Depending on the situation, you need to be mentally prepared to change. See, national education policy has been already introduced in Karnataka. Many people are still in the process of accepting it. Some people are feeling that it's a difficulty, it's an imposition, something like that. No, this is the high time to change. You need to change to the situation. If you don't do that, change will change you. Change is the order of the day. Unless you are mentally prepared to accept the change, when the change changes, that is going to be drastic. So that a good leader, a good individual or a teacher for that matter, is one who is flexible enough to get adapted to the change of situations. So that adaptiveness and the flexibility are the most significant thing that a leader should cultivate. Earlier, people used to say that those who are able to adjust into situation can survive anywhere. Those who are flexible to adapt into situation can be successful anywhere. That is one of the qualities. And the cognitive ability means your knowledge. Traits of good leaders is knowledge of what they are doing. Along with that, honesty, integrity, and empathy. Empathy means putting yourself into the shoes of others, thinking about the problems of others, thinking about others' situation will make anybody a good leader. It is not important how long you can speak. You must empathize the listeners also. How long you can listen is also important. It is not important that how many people you can control. You should also think as the people who have been controlled. Therefore, empathy and vision and foresightedness will make good leaders. There are certain essential qualities that a leader needs to develop. The most important quality these days that we speak about is emotional intelligence. Leaders need to be emotionally stable and able to manage their own emotion and emotions of others. This is one important thing that a leader must keep in mind. And another thing I said, integrity. Integrity can be visible through the truthfulness of individuals and the relation between his acts and words. Acts and words, walk the talk, walk and the talk. The drive, motivation, why you are leading, for what purpose. Sometimes people may pretend to be leaders, but they may be traits leading for different intentions for a hidden agenda. That should not be there. Self-confidence and intelligence, knowledge of business, these are the most significant things. But along with this, we have different types of leaders. There are different styles of leaders, as there are different theories like autocracy, democracy, and things like that. You can have autocratic leaders, democratic leaders. An autocratic leader is one who always thinks I am right and I am making right decisions, needless to consult anybody, needless to talk to anybody. Others are all my servants, subordinates. Democratic leaders make decisions through participation, consultation, and discussion. What type of leader you are depends on, at the first instance, your faith, your belief, your level of thinking, and that of your followers. Everybody, in my opinion, likes freedom. Freedom is what the world likes the most. When there is threat to freedom, however strong leader you are, people will oppose it. It is not the people alone. It is the nature's principle. Just imagine a situation wherein you blow air to a balloon. When you blow air to a balloon, as long as you continue blowing, the balloon will become big and bigger. At one point of time, it will burst. What does it indicate? There will be different explanations by people that belong to different faculties. But I have to say that when you are forcing the air to stay inside, the air is trying to get out of the balloon. When the pressure becomes too much, even the resistance inside becomes too much. As a result, the balloon will burst. Same is the case. Too much of control, too much of restrictions leads to exploitation. Therefore, ultimately, it is the participative, democratic styles of leadership that is appreciated everywhere, and it has been proved. But at times, we need to use the common sense. We need to use the common sense. At what time to be a dictator, at what time to be a democrat, and when to give freedom to people, things like that. There is something called, in management and psychology, we have n number of theories. That is not required at this point of time for the type of audience that I am talking to. But leaders are those who have to create something, achieve some result with the help of people. There are two things in front of a leader. One is the result, that is output. Other one is the people. If you care too much about the people, you may become people friendly. People will love you, but the results will go out of hand. If you care too much for the results, you may achieve the results, but you will become anti-people and people don't like you. You will become unpopular. You have to strike a balance between these, both people and the result. For that purpose, we have a grid analysis. That grid analysis identifies 5 different styles of leaders. See here, in this, on the vertical axis, it has been shown concern for people, caring for the people, low to high, low to high. On the horizontal axis, concern for production, that means result. What do you want? Only the result or only the people's welfare? You must strike a balance. In the process of striking balance, there will be 5 different types of leadership that you can identify. See here, low concern for people and low concern for production. That type of leadership is called impoverished management or impoverished leadership. You are neither good for the people nor results are achieved. What are you doing? People, at least people are not saying you are good, and even the results that you have obtained are not good. This is an exception of minimum effort to get required work done is an appropriate sustained organization. For survival, what is required, that these people are doing. And even some of the teachers say, I have covered the syllabus. I have covered the syllabus. Covering the syllabus is not your job. You have to uncover it. Right? Covering the syllabus is not everything. You have to contribute for the total holistic development of the people who are sitting in front of you. Neither that nor this makes a leader impoverished leader. On the other hand, you look at this, too much concern, high caring, 1.9. Here it is 1 and 1. Here it is 1 and 9. That is called a country club type of manager or leader. Country club leader means one who is a popular leader, talking to everybody in a common place. He is a popular person, but results are zero. Some teachers are very popular teachers, but the real contribution in making good citizens is zero. I'm not going to elaborate at this point of time. On the other hand, you look at this very high, this is authoritative leadership, concern for productivity only, caring for productivity only, high concern for productivity, low concern for people. He will become a terror. He will become a terror because he always speaks of results. People become enemies for him sometimes. People don't like him. He will not a popular person because he always says work hard, achieve results, something like that. On the other hand, see here, high concern for people, and high concern for the results. That makes a true leader. You must become both. You must strike a balance. That balance makes you respected by the people also and achieving the results for which you are working also. And in between, 5.5 is said to be the middle of the road management. This is again a middle path, a survival path where the blend of all this is being achieved. You should know when to be people friendly, when how much to achieve, things like that. The power of leaders comes from many sources. It can be legitimate power given to you because of your designation. Many people don't have this advantage of I and you are having to interact with the youngsters. We are blessed to have an opportunity to be in this position, to interact with the young minds, to think young, to be young, and to take part in this process. That is called legitimate power. Reward power means we are giving salary to somebody. As a result, I am his boss. That bossism made me the leader. Coercive power is one that I am using with my position at the gunpoint to control others. Referent power is because of my personality, because of my charisma, people respect me. Expert power is my ability to solve the complicated problem makes people to think that I am a solution to many problems, and that expertise will make others to take me as their leader. As a teacher, you need to inculcate these leadership qualities, and at every point of time, at every class, you are a leader there, and invariably society looks at you as an example for good things and a catalyst for social changes, and all societies, irrespective of the type of people and the government there, teachers are highly regarded and respected as the social reformers and the society makers. This is all about leadership in academics, leadership and teaching. If you have any queries, any comments, criticism, go ahead.
Sir,
Please.
sir, here social sensitivity means?
Social sensitivity means you must understand the realities of the society. Society is made up of different components, different elements. You must respect all these sensitive things. Say, for instance, in what society you are. In a society where you are expected to keep left while driving, you must keep left. In a society where you are expected to keep right, you must go on the right side. Every society is made up of certain emotions. Try to understand that emotion, try to respond to that sensitively. That's what the meaning. Hope I am right and you got it.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Sir, I am audible, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, I am audible, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yes, yes, please.
Sir, as I understood about team building and leadership,
Yeah.
so this is a tool for observing the student behavior.
Can you repeat it, please?
Sir, I am audible, sir.
Yes, yes, Srinivas, go ahead.
Please go ahead. Go ahead.
As I understood both the lectures.
Oh.
Unmute ಮಾಡಿ ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸ್. Okay, okay, continue ಮಾಡಿ.
Please.
Sir, I am audible, sir. Anand,
Now
sir.
you are audible.
Yes, sir. Sir, as you said, both the lecture, as I understood, it is team building as a leadership. Both are a team, observing the student behave in a classroom, as well as problem solving skills, critical thinking skills, and management skills and leadership attributes. Am I right, sir?
Yes, yes, you are right.
And another thing, as you said, the model, the what do you call the formation, normation, or what do you call?
Storming, performing, adjourning.
Storming, norming, performing, adjourning.
Adjourning.
This is about developed by the Tuckman, as I understood. So it is a greatly aid in mentoring the student progress in a class, and the skills and behavior and their emotions and their flexibility and adaptability and adjustability to different circumstances, different interaction with the different cultures and different case scenario. I think so, sir. So what I am going to ask you, is it possible, because the last one is,
Srinivas sir, please keep mic to near mouth.
sir, as I understood, the last one, adjourning, the termination stage in the stages of development. Am I right, sir?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
This is relevant to the corporate sector, sir, as I understood about this model.
Not necessary.
Srinivas, what's your question actually?
I am going to ask you a
What's
question.
your doubt?
How can the Tuckman model, this model, be implemented in a class setting? This is my question, sir.
Yes. See here, adjourning, I have explained it to you in the context of team development or group development.
Yes, sir.
In the process of group or team development, forming, norming, storming, performing, and adjourning Adjourning need not be, when you can use the word termination, that gives a different meaning. It is postponing. See here, if you are happy with the group performance, you may continue. If you are not happy, you will discontinue. When you discontinue from a group, that is not the end of life. People who go out of the team here may join another team or may become another team on their own. Life is not come to an end because of the adjournment there. Even in academics, you can take it. Say, for instance, a student who is not happy with his learning inside the class, if he or she discontinues, what will happen? That person goes out of the stream but joins another stream. That another stream may be outside your purview, but still he is in a group, he is in a team. A person who discontinues studies from one college may go out of that college. Typically, he may join another college, or otherwise he may become somebody out of education. So that discontinuation is not the end of it. It can be beginning of one more thing. Therefore, we must not think that in academics classes, our job will be over only by completing a session or completing a course. Why people blame you for something even a 70 years man commits? Teachers are blamed for that. Who taught you? From which university? From which college he has learned, you know? It is because of the fact your association has not yet terminated. It is continued somewhere. Something stops here, begins somewhere, join somewhere. Therefore, the same ideology, analogy can be applied to even life. I said we can explain marriage relationships. I have explained the marriage relationship with that. Forming is the stage where strangers become a set. Storming is the stage where they quarrel. I said even everybody must have a quarrel. Can you think of a family without quarrel? If they say no, that is an indication either of them, if not physically, mentally dead. Both living minds, you know, must have conflict at one point or the other. Storm, then norm. Norming is fixing boundaries, rules and regulations. Performing is living together. Philosophically, even death, you know, death is not end of life, you know. I think I'm reaching you. Even death is not the end of it. It is an adjournment, that's it. Adjournment. It is postponed from here and then start somewhere else. Therefore, even this model can be used for friendship, family, corporate sector, academics, wherever there are people, that can be applied. But its interpretations calls for a wider thinking about it. Otherwise, it appears that that's the end of it. No, it's not the end. It can be the beginning. Hope I am clear to you, Srinivas.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because
Anand, sir.
why I asked
Sir,
that?
Sir, adjourning in another way, it is nothing but start of new beginning, right, sir?
Yes. That's what I said. That's what I said.
Sir, in that stage, insecurity and ambiguity that might be the arise from this stage. That is the reason I'm asked that question.
Your question was right. Whether you got the answer, convinced,
Yes,
or
sir.
if you have any more questions, you can ask.
Understood. The security purpose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please.
hello, sir.
Tell me, madam, please.
Sir, the two sessions really more informative session and excellent session also, sir. We got so many information also. Sir, this is not the question, just clarification only.
Please. Tell me, madam, please.
Good, madam. Madam, Manjulakshi madam, please unmute the speaker. Speaker on ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. By mistake off ಮಾಡಿದಿರಾ.
Oh, sorry, sir.
Please, go ahead.
Now you are audible, madam.
Sir, this is not the question, just clarification.
Please.
In education level, in education system, in all other shelter of our society. So everyone, they know we get a very good team. Definitely, we reach a very good result also.
Please go ahead, madam.
So then, but nowadays, my observation. So then people are not ready to work in good team, and they are selecting defective leader and they are adjusting defective system. So then that is my question. Why then this is happen in the educated people only, sir? So why it is happen?
The answer for the question is, people do whatever they think favorable for them. People do whatever they think good for them. Good and bad are not objective things. They are subjective expression. I think you can follow me. Good and bad are always subjective. What they think is good for me, what they think is relevant for me, that they will do. For that, the reason is the circumstances, the environment where they are, philosophies and the ideologies that they believe. That makes people to say, yeah, you ask a person who are doing whatever you said, you are doing wrong, then he says, no, I am right. People will do something that they think they are right. What is required is change in behavior, change in ideologies. For that, since thousands of years, great leaders, great teachers have been doing that. Everybody who do anything will believe I am right. If somebody is capable of proving them that you are not right, then he will change. That is the job of teachers and leaders. But it's a hard task. Even teachers will think, why should I do that when it is not good for me? What is good for me that I will do? Sometimes keeping mum is good. People keep mum. That's it. I think you got the answer.
Thank you, sir. Okay.
Excuse me, sir. Good evening, sir.
Please.
Yes, sir. Passionate and also innovative. These are also the good qualities of a teacher, sir.
Yes, 100%. You
Is
must
it
be
always innovative in his leadership qualities?
Yes. You must enjoy what you are doing.
Yes, sir. Okay.
You must
That is
enjoy what
passion.
you are doing.
Okay.
You teach for your satisfaction. You love what you are doing, then automatically the work will become good. Innovative means using new methods. Yes.
Right, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Even criticisms are accepted, I said. If you have any comments to make, you can. Otherwise,
So criticisms always help for growth.
Yes. Any more questions?
Dear participants, if there are no queries, I request one of the participants to propose vote of thanks to Professor Anand, sir. Anyhow, you will be having discussion in 2 more sessions during the second week. Okay.
Yes, you can reserve your questions.
Sir, you can also raise your questions during that time. Okay. Sanmati, please, Manju, go ahead. Supriya madam, please go ahead.
ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಸರ್.
ಕನ್ನಡ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಮೇಡಮ್. ಐ ಲವ್ ಟು
ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಅವರು ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸಂತೋಷ, ಮಾತಾಡಿ ನವೆಂಬರ್ ತಿಂಗಳು ಮಾತಾಡಿ.
ಓಕೆ. ಮಧ್ಯಾಹ್ನದ ಒಂದು ಅಧಿವೇಶನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾಯಕತ್ವ ಹಾಗೂ ಸಂಘಟನೆಯ ಕುರಿತು ಸುದೀರ್ಘವಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮೆದುರಿಗೆ ವಿಷಯವನ್ನು ಮಂಡಿಸಿದಂತಹ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಡಿ ಆನಂದ್ ಸರ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕವಾಗಿ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ತಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾದಂತಹ ಅಭಿನಂದನೆಗಳು ಸರ್. ಬಹಳ ಮಹತ್ವಪೂರ್ಣವಾದಂತಹ ವಿಷಯಗಳನ್ನು ತಿಳಿದುಕೊಳ್ಳಲಾಯಿತು. ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕವಾಗಿ ತಮಗೆ ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ವಂದನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಸಲ್ಲಿಸುವೆ. ಈ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಾಗಾರದ ಸಂಯೋಜಕರಾದಂತಹ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಎಲ್ ನಂಜುಂಡಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಸರ್ ಅವರಿಗೂ ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕವಾಗಿ ಹಾಗೂ ತಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾದಂತಹ ವಂದನೆಗಳು ಸರ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿಯವರೆಗೆ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಕ್ರಿಯಾಶೀಲವಾಗಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಾಗಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಿದಂತಹ ಎಲ್ಲ ಶಿಬಿರಾರ್ಥಿಗಳಿಗೂ ನನ್ನ ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕವಾಗಿ ಹಾಗೂ ವಂದನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಸಲ್ಲಿಸುತ್ತಾ ಈ 2 ಮಾತುಗಳನ್ನು ಮುಗಿಸುವೆ. ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
Thank you.
See you again and take leave.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay.